Amen.
So here's the first thing. Okay, the power of prayer and the right mindset. The reason why I want to start with this is just simple. First of all, prayer is powerful. I'm starting to learn that more and more every day, and that also leans into the into having the right mindset. If you want to, come into this thing, you really do need to be thinking about love and thinking about a relationship and thinking about what you can give to a relationship, not what you can take. Everybody wants to be a taker, but very few people want to be givers. And we need to be more giving and more loving. But having the right mindset also means that we recognize that God can bring somebody to anywhere. And people on this group that's been around know I'm not a huge fan of meeting guys at the grocery store. But I'm just gonna be real. That's where a lot of people meet them. But if your mindset is not right, then a guy might come up to you in the grocery store, or a woman might come up to you in the grocery store, and you don't want to talk to them. You look like you just went through running, or I don't like what you got on, or why are you talking to me at a grocery store while I'm trying to get my carrots? Whatever the reason is, you don't know where you're gonna meet this person. So you need to be open, so that you can be in the right mindset, so that you can be open to meeting somebody. And that goes into this next one. You just have to have that open energy. I find a lot of people are very closed off. They want to meet the person the way they want to meet them, in the parameters that they want to meet. And we have to recognize that it doesn't always work that way. I mean, it's great when it does, but it doesn't always work that way. So we want to try to be as open as we possibly can, so that we can find the person that was meant for us. Tashawn's looking around. Is that okay, Tashawn? Did I say that okay?
I'm always doing more than one thing. Yeah, you good.
I'm just making sure you got that rebel look. I want to make sure you don't spray paint my car.
I'll let you know. I ain't scared.
I ain't never scared. What?
Okay, so dating sites. So as somebody said earlier, I think it was Alan said earlier, about the dating, and we are going to talk a lot about dating sites, because I know that for a lot of people right now, because of COVID, that is one of the things that they're going to be doing a lot of. So I just wanted to go over that really quickly, so that everybody kind of knows and understands about dating sites. So the big thing is, if you are going to use dating sites to be your primary way to meet people, you do need to try to find a site that has a lot of people. And one of the things that you can do is, as you scroll down to the bottom of any page, you're going to find a lot of information at the bottom, this additional information. And one of the things that I was trying to show by this, and you can kind of see it a little bit if you squint real hard, they're like, well, OkCupid, they have over 10 million installs at the time when I actually took the screenshot. But when you look at Christian dating, Cfish, they only have 10,000. So this is going to be really important, because it can become very difficult. A lot of people might want to lean towards the Christian dating sites, especially if they're Christian. I know some people on here, a lukewarm Christian, and that's okay. We love all people. But if you do kind of want, or just that really strict Christian, it's going to be a little bit harder on some of these sites. I actually did one a long time ago, and I had people trying to talk to me from Florida, because there just wasn't anybody near them that was Christian. So they were trying to get to me all the way from Florida. So that's just one of those types of things. Also, you want to look at the reviews up at the top. You want to make sure they have good navigation. And then most people are charging $40 a month, just so you can kind of understand. Now, one trick that I have seen that works sometimes, it doesn't work all the time, but a lot of them will have a way that you can go in, set up a profile, and then not pay. And some of them you can actually talk to people and not pay, but it's a little tricky, because they might make it where you can only talk to 10 people a day, or they might make it where you only match, like on Bumble. If you don't match with the person, you can't talk to them. But that'll get you around this $40 a month. But one of the tricks too is a lot of sites, if you sign up and then you get off, sometimes within 1 month, they might send you a discount to your email. And they might say, hey, if you come on back, we'll give it to you for 50% off. So that's just another way to get in on a little bit cheaper. Now, when people do this, if you are gonna do this, I don't encourage you to sign up for more than 1 month at a time. So you sign up for 1 month, and then you do that month, you hit it as hard as you can, go out on as many dates as you can. And then after that, and get phone numbers, by the way, you really want to get phone numbers and really be talking to these people off the app. And once the app goes away, wait at least 30 to 60 days before going back on. And the reason why is because a lot of people on the dating app, they stay around. So it's the same people. So if you are just hanging around there and you're spending all that money, you're just basically gonna be running to the same people every day. There might be 5 new people that pop up within a month. And so it's just better and cheaper just to, kind of hopscotch it. But you also have to remember that, especially for Christians, that all of these sites are gonna say 17 plus. You can see it right there. So it's gonna say mature. So that doesn't really mean anything bad. It just means that that is what they're saying is the way the age group, but that doesn't mean like, nudity or crazy stuff like that. So that's just really quick. So what do you need for your profile? Okay, you need to put 4 to 6 pictures, a close-up definitely of your face with nothing, distracting, nothing covering your eyes, no sunshades, no mask. Okay, yes, those are blurred, by the way. I don't want to put this lady's info out there like that. But you definitely want to do that. Okay, now if you have 1 picture with sunshades on, then that's fine. But you really want to make sure people know what your face looks like, they know what your body looks like. And if you want to have one where you're having fun, or you with people, that's fine, but don't only really make it 1 picture. You really need to have pictures of yourself. That's what people are interested in. They're not interested in your best friends. And I actually believe people shouldn't do a lot of pictures with other people, because then folks will just start to compare you and be like, dang, her girlfriend is fine. I mean, I thought she was fine until I saw her girlfriend. So, you don't want that kind of. So I just say put it in, 1 person will be enough. And like I said, you can have people to take your pictures for you, with your phone, put on 2 or 3 outfits, whatever you want to do. I encourage you to put in the description somewhere, I am a Christian. Because even though all of these have a little Christian box, like this one says other religion, most people don't even pay attention to that. But if you put it in your description, then a lot of people will pay attention. Then fill out all the information. Don't try to hide. When you try to hide things, you might get a date off of hiding, and you might think, well, once these people meet me, they're gonna like me, and they're gonna forget about the 1 or 2 things I'm trying to hide. No, they won't. So just put it all out there. If they pop up and they talk to you, great. But you don't want to waste a lot of your time, just trying to hopscotch and get a date and just be crazy about it.
I have a question.
Uh-huh.
The question I have that you have before on this, make sure to include I'm a Christian. What if you put I'm a Christian and they think that you're Jehovah's Witness or something very, very strict out there? No offense though, but I'm just curious.
Well, I haven't had that happen, but I mean, you can just say that, I'm non-denominational Christian. If you just want to add your denomination.
Okay.
Yeah, can I answer that?
So that way it will tell them that you're not the strictest if you put I'm a non-denominational Christian.
Yeah, or you can say, like I've seen people say, I'm a Christian, but I cuss a little.
Okay.
They're basically saying I am Christian, but I'm not perfect.
I'm a Christian on a good day.
There you go. I'm
And
Christian
the
on a
bottom
good
one
day.
that you put underneath it is that like you want us to put like our height and weight and everything like, but it asked how much a year, like money do you make a year, Tom? Do we really have to put those types of things if they ask about money on the website? How
I
much you
think
work?
there's only like one that asks about money. And you know, I wouldn't necessarily feel like you got to fully fill that out. That's up to you. Because I've only seen that on one site about the money thing. And especially for women, I don't think it's really that important that you all, you know, put exactly. Because I know in the past when I've seen that, they usually have money ranges.
Right.
And I almost always pick I always go to my range and then go down one. Because I'm not trying to say I'm broke, but at the same time, I'm not necessarily trying to let you know exactly how much I make. But I think because most people aren't really as concerned about that, but what they are concerned about is things like your age. And I don't think you even have to put your perfect age. So like this lady put 42. If she had put 40 or 43, most people, you know, go down evidently. But if she had put 40, I think she would be okay. The average, you know, person is not going to scream too much. But if she put 35, and then somebody kind of calls her on it, then you know you might get some people that are upset about
I have a
it.
question.
Uh-huh.
All right, so no offense to anyone out there, but I have been on dating sites for like quite a while. When I mean a while, I mean like a good like 13 years. I've tried OkCupid, I've tried Christian dating, I've tried Meet Me, I have even tried Match, and it's not really that easy. You run into a lot of stuff when you do online dating because you really don't know a person online. Yes, they can put a lot of stuff in the information, but once you meet them, you're just like, wait a minute, that's not what you described online. I met somebody before who actually had his friend who was dead, and he said his profile underneath his friend picture. And I'm like, dude, who are you? He just, my friend said before he died that I could use his photo on dating sites. I'm like, that's just not normal. People really don't do that. And I left. So
Good call. Good call.
one thing I have to say is,
Yeah,
you know, dating, when you do online dating, be careful because you're gonna have people who are mentally not right.
Mm-hmm.
You got people on drugs. You're gonna have people who have photos that's not really them. And you got people that's just going to lie to you, you know, and it's scary doing online dating. Like when I did it, I was told a friend who I was going to meet, and then I'll tell them afterwards, like that person wasn't who they were, or that person was okay. You know, you'll find some guys that are actually pretty cool that you can stay friends with, you know, but they just had no interest in you like that. And vice versa. You have some people that are like, for guys, I've heard stories for guys, like guys has, you know, but out there they dated, but it'll be a guy being a female or a guy switching from being a man to a woman.
Yeah, for trans people.
And you just got to be really careful and keep it up, like your safety. You know, make sure you have pepper spray on you. Always make sure you can meet somebody in the daylight. I mean, I had before where a guy said he'll take me out on a date, but he said, I don't have any money, sir. You going to pay? I'm like, what the heck is wrong with people? That's just not okay. People say they are Christians, but then they say, like, I have been talked to by the devil, or I've seen demons. I mean, yeah, they make it seem like it's all great and decorated up like it's a beautiful thing. But then when you go through it, it really is something that you got to be cautious about. You got to think serious about. And safety is number one. And always pray before you go on these dates. Let me tell you, without God,
Can I
always pray before
chime
you go
in?
out.
Can I chime in? I don't know your name because it says iPhone, but but in addition to what Jay is saying about our information on our profile, I think it's important that we look at the information on the other person's profile as well. Like if they're very vague about their stuff, like don't talk to them either. Because some people just have a picture of them up there and no information about themselves. So don't even be curious. If they didn't take the time to say, you know, certain things about themselves, just swipe left or swipe right. I personally, online dating is not for me, has never been for me, because I like to cut the fat, and there's certain things I need to know up front that talking to someone online, I can't find out. But if you do that, and when I have done that immediately, if that person did not even take the time to fill out their profile, that was an immediate next for me.
Me too, Davida.
Yeah, one of the things that I would definitely say as well, and again, I know a lot of people are new to this group, but we don't really encourage online dating in this group. We do not. I know we do not. I mean, I understand we're in COVID, and I know that a lot of people are going to do it. I've done it, but it's not encouraged. It is not encouraged for all the reasons that everyone is talking about. However, I can say that yes, you're going to find those things where it's going to be bad. I know for me, because I've done online dating, and I've been catfished twice. And I have run into one person that I just thought was just absolutely nuts. But besides those 3 events, most of the other ones were good. And when you say that I probably have talked to off and on well over 50 women, just either meeting them, doing small talk with them, whatever, I still consider that to be pretty good. Because in the real world, you're going to run into crazy people too. So, but I do believe that if you're really trying to find a connection, the things that people are really going to be concerned about, you can't hide them. I've seen people that, yeah, I've seen people try to hide. I'm sorry, who's talking?
Belinda, you just mute her. She's got background.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry.
Okay, this is Selena. I have a question.
Okay,
Oh, Selena.
Hello. The issue that I run into, just in general in trying to online dating, I am 54 and I don't look 54. So I get a lot of younger, which is not an issue for me, younger guys, approaching me. Right now, I actually met one guy recently. He's 38. I'm 54. He doesn't have an issue with that, and I don't have an issue with that. But again, we're still on 2 different levels. So my thing is, and then the guys that are my age look way older than me. I mean, 10 plus years older than me. So that becomes an issue because they're looking at me like I'm younger than them. So that's my issue. So I don't know, kind of go about that.
Well, I mean, I think no matter what the situation is, I mean, if you look young, good for you. But I think you can have the same thing in real life. I mean, somebody that's going to be a jerk about age is going to be a jerk about age. Because we do talk about age sometimes in this group as well. We'll actually have, full meetings just about age. So, but I would just say just in general, that could just be something that, you just have to work through. You got to find that mature guy. And when I say mature, I'm not talking about age. I'm talking about the literal maturity of the person. But one of the things that you have to watch out for, I'm just going to say this really quickly, and I'm not trying to be, a downer, but you have to watch some of the younger guys that are trying to date older women, because there is a thing going around, trying to be real, where a lot of younger guys, they get with older women because they know these women are set. They're not trying to have kids. They can come in and enjoy them sexually. And then after maybe 6 months to a year, or whenever they find the woman that they're looking for, they just drop them. And that is a thing. I've even talked to guys that do it.
And I've actually talked to a few myself, again, with that same attitude and being upfront about it. So yeah, I do get that. I've gotten that before. Yes.
Okay. So I just wanted to make sure I put that out there. But as far as, like I say, going after older guys, if older guys, again, can't handle that, then they're not really in a mature place. Because I know for me, I have dated women as young as I would say 28, and I'm 45. And so for me, I don't find really much difference in age. I really don't. I see women almost always about the same. You know, it's just about what phase you are in your life. And I can respect a 28-year-old just as much as I can respect a 45-year-old. So that doesn't really, but I think it's the maturity of the man. And we have to remember that people, just because they're older, doesn't mean they're mature.
True.
And there are a lot of people out here, and even when you deal with any kind of craziness, you're dealing with a lot of people that just are not mature. They're just not there. And you kind of have to weed them out relatively quickly so that you can just kind of move to the next. And that is one of the core natures of online, is that a lot of people are out there, and that was going to be talked about on this next page, is that, you know, you really got to figure out why they're there. Okay, because a lot of people are doing online dating. Right now we're in COVID, so it makes sense. But you have to realize there's people been out there, you know, even before COVID, and there's a reason why they're out there. There's a reason why they're using online dating. And for some people, they might just be very busy. For some people, they might be in a remote place in Georgia or in whatever state they live in. Some people might have a reverse schedule where they work at night, they don't work in the day. But then you have other people that's just crazy. And that's why they're online dating, because they're crazy.
Just like that, huh?
Hey, you know, you guys got to be real. You know, people are crazy. So anyway, anybody else has something to say before I move on?
I do.
Okay, come on.
Let me just give you an example of crazy. Real quick. No. I went out, this was 10 years ago, I tried online dating, and I met someone online in a public place. Very handsome gentleman. We had dinner at the table, and the whole time he really didn't have a lot to say to me. It was me mostly talking, but he was looking at me. And I noticed he had on, it was a hot lounge. He would never take his coat off. And I was like, it's hot in here. There's a lot of people dancing and stuff. It was like a lounge where people dancing, but it was just a lot of people, and it was warm.
Mm-hmm.
And I noticed at the cuff of his jacket, a tattoo. And he was just talking about, you know, let's go somewhere more quiet or whatever. And he said, let's just go somewhere quieter where we can talk. Now we could hear each other fine over the table if he would talk, but he's just like, I don't like this scene. Let's just leave. So I was like, well, why don't you take your jacket off for one, be comfortable. I'm not kidding y'all. That's what was on his arm. And I don't know, it could be something else. It was a tattoo of tally marks. Okay.
Oh,
yes.
Next on the list, Davida. He was trying to get another mark on that.
Yes. I didn't trust the tattoo, ladies. I did not trust the tattoo.
Someone please dial 911.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that right there, that one date was good enough for me. And I when I saw another group of people leaving out, I told him, I cut the date short and I left, because it was like he had like zoned in on me, like one thing was on his mind, and I don't know what it was, but he did not want to take the jacket off. And then when he did, it was about like a row of 4 tally marks on his arm. So that's at least 20 people, y'all.
Well, at least you're not 21. There you go. I say, at least you weren't 21. That's what
exactly.
we still got you. So come on, Rosemary, what do you have to say?
Just an experience that I encountered when I met somebody on a dating website last year, and he wanted some validity to my truth, who I was. And so he asked me we had exchanged phone numbers, and he asked me randomly, he said, are you at home? I said, yes. He says, can you take a picture next to your TV?
What?
Right now. Yeah. And I said, well, okay. I don't have it was morning. I didn't have makeup, nothing. I did. And he goes, okay, now I know it's really you in the pictures in your profile. Because how do you know when you're speaking to somebody?
No, that's catfishing. I mean,
yeah,
it's real. Like I said, I've been catfished twice.
And so I've been doing it whenever I exchange phone numbers, I do it. And you know how many I filter and block because, oh no, my phone doesn't do that. Or no, you have trust issues. Like really. So I don't know, it's just something that really filters out the scammers or, being catfished. It's crazy, scary.
Yeah, I mean, it's a real thing. Oh, JT dropped his hand. But I mean, it's a real thing. I mean, there's ways that you can get around it, like you said, like you guys will come up with. I definitely think that you have to, like I say, be careful with it. But also, and again, I'm just going to be real. One of the things that I always talk about in this group is why is somebody single? I talk about that all the time. And even when you're looking at a dating site, again, why are they on the dating site? If you see a guy, for most of the women, that is just so handsome, he's just tall, he's muscular, he's got that face, and for the guys, the woman is just so beautiful and she seems so nice. He has the perfect, description. Then why in the heck is she out there? Why hasn't somebody snatched her up? See, when I see women like that, I'm sorry, I'll be straight avoiding them. Woman looks like she's an Instagram model. Next. Because
It's true.
More than likely,
That is true, though.
You're
True.
fake. And if you are real, it's not that I don't believe that I could talk to you, but you're advertising a totally different type of experience than what I'm looking for.
Right.
I'm looking for somebody that's down to earth, that's loving, that is caring, that wants to have, great conversations. So when I'm looking at you and you posed all like this and your hair is perfect and you this and you that and you all on a beach somewhere, or I should say on a yacht, because they got a lot of them, the women be on yachts and boats and stuff. I'm just like, next. You don't even get my attention. I have one right now that is in my phone, and when she first sent it to me, I was like, why in the world you want to talk to me? I mean, everything in her description made no sense when it came to my description. So as soon as she popped up, I was like, even if you thought I was attractive, you don't make sense. And you
That's the
got
hot
to
crazy
think like
matrix.
that.
Jay.
You say what, Tashawn?
That's the hot crazy matrix.
Yeah, but people be thinking, oh, this super fine Instagram model want to talk to me. No, they don't.
They
don't
want
exist.
something from you.
Yeah. So you got to use your brain too. Again, no disrespect to anybody, but it's like I said, I mean, you got to know you. You got to know when you're on the street, or you at a club, or you at a party, or you at church, or wherever you be, you got to know the type of person that want to talk to you. And if somebody, I would say you got to know your level. We talk about this for all the new people. It's called reflections. Okay, that's what I call it in this group. So when you look in the mirror, think about yourself, think about everything about you. You look in the mirror, who is your person? Your person is the opposite gender you. They dress like you, they talk like you, they think like you. From a height perspective or whatever, they're gonna be like you. Okay, that is your person. So if you're a woman that you like to, put on your makeup and your heels and stuff like that, then you're gonna find a guy that generally is a more suit, collared shirt, groomed guy. But if you're a person that's more of a t-shirt and jeans person, then your person is t-shirt and jeans. And if you like Tashawn with the earring on her nose and the tattoos all down her arms, then that's her man, with the tattoos and all the other kind of stuff.
You made my earring come out my nose. You funny.
Come on, JT, what you got to say, brother?
Bye, Fraser.
Bye, Fraser.
Bye, Fraser.
Hey everyone, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I just wanted to chime in real quick. Two things. One of the things that I do, I'm not currently on any dating apps right now because I'm taking a break. But one thing that I did before was pretty much everyone has a cell phone now. So you can do FaceTime, you can do Google Duo. So that way you kind of get a face-to-face conversation without meeting them in public and kind of gauge them, if they're comfortable in their own surroundings. So that way you can see whether, if there is a mutual interest there or you can kind of move on. And then two, you definitely got to be careful out here. I had a similar situation to you, Jay, where, you know, I met a young lady and it was like, okay, she should have been picked up by now, like 15 years ago. And you know, you might have similar interests, but then you find out that, okay, well, she's just out here because she's just bored right now. She's not, no one's giving her that much attention or that much validation. So she needed from someone new. So that way you got to use discernment and kind of see, engage a person to where they're at. Because some people are serious and they want to be in a serious relationship, but some people, they're just bored and they're just looking to have fun with a new face and have some excitement for, you know, however long that they want.
No, I'm 100% with that. 100%. Appreciate that, JT.
That's real.
What's going on, Toyland? Talk to us.
Well, hey, this goes back to about 3 weeks ago when I got chastised about having a conversation. And so, you know, if you have conversations, you can find out some of these things that you need to find out. But if you're not having conversation, you might get caught up. Now, granted, there are some scammers out there that sell it pretty well. I'm not ignoring that. But if you keep talking to a person, they'll eventually tell you who they are, and that can be a process of elimination to say, nah, hey, it's been fun, but I'm out, and you can go from there. But please have plenty of conversation. And so when you have conversation again, they'll tell you who they are, and don't be scared to ask the tough question. Because if you're scared to ask the tough question, you end up getting a tough answer later on that you don't want. So that's all.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. And before I go to the next two people, I just want to make sure I go over this real quick. Again, you know, you want to like and message enough people to have one or two conversations. And this reason why I put this will vary from person to person. And I'm gonna get to you, Lori and Natalie, real quick. But I just want to say, I do think it's more difficult when you don't have, when you have more than two conversations going at once. There are a lot of people and a lot of women, especially probably are dealing with this right now, where they'll have people to kind of pop in and pop out, excuse me, and you know, you're talking to a guy and everything's going good, and then all of a sudden they're just gone. And you're like, what happened? I thought we were having a good conversation. And one of the things that a lot of guys do is that they'll be talking to 10, 15 women at the same time, and they really just can't keep up with that many women. So what they do is they just kind of pop in, pop out, trying to make sure you're engaged, you know, doing their, you know, good morning text or whatever it is to try to keep you engaged. But really what they're trying to do is wait out on the person that they really want to talk to. So I don't really encourage people to do this, just to focus in on one or two people. I don't think it has to be one. I think you can talk to two people and really kind of get to know two people at the same time. But I think once you start to get into three or more, it really becomes difficult to keep up with them, and they just start running into each other. Again, be fully engaged or just unlike the person. You don't have to match with the person. You don't have to stay matched. If you really want to find love, you need to stay engaged. Stay engaged, stay engaged, stay engaged. Don't just stop. You know, you really need to continue to stay engaged, to talk, to text, and don't text forever. You know, again, that's another thing that people are doing. They're texting forever. They'll text for 2 and 3 weeks. That's not a person that wants to talk to you. Somebody just texting for 2 and 3 weeks, no, they don't want to talk to you. And actually, I think most of the dating coaches out there would agree with me on that one, because I actually dated a woman and she was surprised at how quickly it went from us liking each other to us texting to us on the phone. And it happened within about 48 hours. And she even said, she was like, I didn't think it was gonna happen this fast. And because of everything that she had, talked about and even has seen. And I told her, I said, look, for me, if I want to talk to you, I'm gonna talk to you. I'm not gonna play around, I'm not playing games. I want to talk to the person. And somebody that does not want to talk to you, they're not interested. When you get on the phone, whether you're doing FaceTime or just a phone call, you need to talk to the person. This is one thing I do agree with Toyland on. I don't necessarily know, like I say, about how deep you need to go into conversation, but you definitely need to talk. I don't even like 15 minutes. I like an hour, because if I can't talk to you on the phone for an hour, I'm not paying $50 for a meal where I'm gonna sit across from you and be bored.
Mhm.
I'm sorry. Even if I had a free coupon to a
Nope,
restaurant,
ain't gonna happen.
yeah, I don't want to be bored for an hour. So if I can't talk to you for an hour on the phone, then we're not going on a date. Also pay attention to the person's interest level. Are they truly interested in you? Does it seem like they're just bored? Especially for a lot of women, you really have to watch that because guys will love to sit around there and they just trying to hit it or quit it. They don't even care that you said that you were Christian. And the reason why is because a lot of Christian women say they're Christian, but then when it all boils down, they're ready to knock them boots. And for all the new people, don't get afraid. We do keep it real in this group. So we know a lot of Christian women be itching, just like non-Christian women, and they want to get them some. So hey, it is what it is. But you need to figure out where this person's mind is at so that you can kind of figure it out. Okay, so somebody dropped their hand, so I'm gonna go straight to Natalie. What's up, Natalie? We haven't heard from you in a long time. Nice to meet you.
I'm sorry. Yeah, it's been a while, but so a couple of y'all made a comment about, when guys approach a female, whatever, online, and they're like, "Oh, like, how are you single?" Da 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 da. Like, I get that a lot. So it's just like, I don't know how to respond to that because it's almost like it's not like I'm out here on these dating apps not genuinely trying to find a partner or love or anything like that. So how does someone respond to that, I guess, if like they're genuinely trying to find somebody? Because the thing is, they're like, okay, well, you're attractive, it seems like you have your things going on, it seems like you're a Christian, but you have to be crazy. So I'm like, no, I'm not crazy. So it's almost like, I mean, I can't even answer that question because I don't know why I'm single myself. So, like, how does somebody take that?
You do know the answer. You haven't met the right person yet.
Right.
It's that simple. You haven't met the right person yet. I mean, sometimes I turn it on them. Well, why are you single then? Are you saying you're deficient and that's why you're single? I mean,
Thank you, Tasha.
Yeah.
Okay.
No,
Okay.
but there are
I agree
people
with
there.
that, but I'm sorry, go ahead.
I was going to add on to before, like there are people that are 50 and 60 sometime and said that, oh, I haven't found the right person. Because I have a cousin that's up there in age, like she's at least 30 something years older than me, and she always has the same. What somebody asked her before about why she wasn't dating. I get it's a personal question and it's a different matter and stuff, but the thing is that some people have the same excuse. And one thing I want to say about the online dating that happened to me one time is that, there was a girl that was on there and she actually identified as trans and stuff, and she got her breasts removed and all of that. I thought at first it was a guy, and she was honest and upfront, and she said she just wanted to be honest though. But even though she was honest, what I said is that I can be your friend, but originally I'm here to date someone that was born a guy. That's what I told her on the message. But she then got rid of her account, after that. So I'm just saying there's different scenarios, though. There are some people that remove certain body parts and you can't tell who is who on there. But I also hate people asking stuff when they don't even know you very well.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you're always gonna, like I said, you're always gonna have stuff like that. You can't worry about that because, again, let's just be real about, you deal with somebody that's trans or this or that. That's just, I mean, shoot, for us that live in Atlanta, I mean, that's an everyday occurrence right there. You got to make sure what they were born there. You better see them baby pictures. That's just what it is.
That's a good one.
I don't
right
judge
there.
people. I don't judge people, but I want them to be, upfront and stuff. That's good because some people will talk to you on there and they don't tell you anything really personal about themselves. Like somebody could be on there talking to you and you don't know their circumstance or their before life.
Well, I mean, that's true, but at the same time, I would say don't get yourself too involved with anybody until you have the time to really find out more details about them. because again, you want to find out as much as you can. And to go back to like Natalie's thing about, why the person on there, all I'm saying is just use logic. Use logic to a degree. And even for you, Natalie, what was one of the reasons why you're out there? You're out there because of COVID. Because you can't be out where you would normally meet guys. You're out because, like Tashawn said, you're still looking for somebody. You're out there because, there's still other reasons. See, I'm not saying that there is no reason. What I'm saying is that it should be a valid reason. If somebody told me, or if I could kind of figure out, oh, well, it's because of COVID, it's because of this, it's because of that, then that's going to make me basically be like, well, that kind of makes sense in my head. But if somebody is basically, I don't know, they're in a space, somebody has some serious noise going on in the background.
Condo.
I think she had cars coming behind her.
Oh, okay.
Well, I got something to say, but.
Well, I'm gonna let you say, but you're gonna be next.
Say
I
what
just
you
wanted to
gotta
make
say,
sure
Jay.
that I was,
what you
going
gotta
over that
say.
real quick.
I
But
apologize.
no, you're good, you're good. So the big thing about that is you just have to look at it from that perspective. And even when you're Natalie going out and you start to talk to a guy, again, why is he out here? And like, with me, because I've had people ask me that. And they be like, why are you out here? You look decent. You don't seem like you crazy. And I'm like, well, at my job, they're like, no, everybody's older than me, literally. Everybody's older than me at my job. And it's only 300 people that work there, period. So I don't work at like a big AT&T type complex where there's 10,000 people and most of them are in their 30s and 40s. And I don't work downtown. I work in the suburbs. So my whole existence is suburban, and I tell people all the time, in Lawrenceville, where I live up here in Gwinnett County, for all the people that don't really know about Atlanta, Gwinnett County is just a suburb of Atlanta. It's mainly married people. And Sean Williams, who has his hand up, he knows, me and him have talked about that. So I be trying to go to Cobb County, where the women are. So
along with that, like, they will make me feel a way because they're like, okay, you gotta be crazy, something wrong with you. And then on top of it, like, you ain't never been married, you don't have kids, like, that's like, you know what I mean? Like, they make, I don't know.
Natalie, do not absorb it. Rebuke that. Don't listen. It's not true.
Yeah, because some of that, though, Natalie, is just their own insecurity.
That's right.
You can't.
That's right.
Yeah, you can't deal with straight insecurity. I mean, you can't worry about people if they're gonna be insecure.
Comment on what Natalie is saying.
Guys, speak up, Seconda.
I said, may I comment on what you
go ahead,
guys are
comment.
saying?
Go ahead, but that Karen in the background is loud.
You know what? Don't worry about my background. I'm in Florida. It's supposed to be loud.
Well, talk to us. We're waiting on your comment.
You know what, Jay? Don't start. Not today. Not today. Not today. Okay. So the thing is, Natalie, that's the common question that pretty much everybody gets when someone wants to know why you're out here. That's the famous lazy excuse. And I like what Tashawn said. Ask them, reverse it. Why are you single? But one of the things is, it's not about I haven't found the right person, because our view is totally different than God's view. It's, one of those things is oh crap, forget it. My earpiece came out. Move on to the next person.
Okay, we'll come back to
We
you.
was ready. We was excited to hear what you say. It sounded like it's gonna be
We'll
good.
come back. Come on, Toylan. I think Toylan was next. Come on, Toylan.
Yeah, Toylan.
This question I got, right? Let's go back to you said you spending money on the meal, right? So I want to ask the females on here. First date, should it be the man pay for it, or should it be a Dutch date? And I'm waiting on a response to that, because I feel like a lot of men, especially from the mindset that I have, is that I'm chivalry is not dead. So, but at the same time, let me say this here too. I'm not trying to go out on 50 dates, and every time I go out on a date, I'm coming out of my pocket for the meal or whatever. Because I like having meals. I think having meals over a date is a great way to break ice instead of drinking a cup of coffee. Because if I'm drinking a cup of coffee, I'm done and I'm ready to go. But if I'm having a meal with someone, I think meals break down ice, ice barriers, and it could be more of a more great conversation. So the companionship is more what I'm looking for in the meal versus, in the meal is secondary. So again, should it be me and pay first date, or should it be Dutch? I want to know what you guys feel about that, and I'm open.
But Toylan,
I'm
I
back
want to
first.
offer you a comment on that.
Hey.
This is Lori. Can everybody hear me?
Go ahead, Lori.
Yes, hi.
Okay. So here, and I've actually thought about this too. Although I'm old school, I believe that the man should always pay. But I think, and this is the situation that and actually how I'm going to handle it is, you should talk about it ahead of time. I wouldn't have a problem with just putting the question right out there that, listen, I know it's our first outing here and things like that. If you're comfortable, we can both pay for our own meal. And if he comes back and says, oh no, you know what, I insist I'm going to pay for it, I would say, go right ahead. But I would talk about it ahead of time, because I wouldn't have a problem on the first outing. Let's just split it. I'll pay for my own meal and kick in for the tip and everything.
So, okay. And I'm listening for some more. That's one.
Okay.
One.
Well, I think Teresa and Maisha, both of their hands seem to pop up once you ask the
Yeah.
question.
Go ahead. I knew this would be a hot item. Let's go.
Come on, Teresa and Maisha. If y'all have something to say to Toylan, go ahead.
So this is Teresa. Even though I'm like
You look like Teresa.
younger,
I gotta see your face.
oh no, I can't turn my camera on right now. I'm in the middle of eating, and it's hair day today as well.
Okay.
So I would expect a guy to pay on the first date, because that's how I grew up and that's how I raised, unless we talk about it beforehand. So when we're out to dinner and the check comes, I always pause to see what he says. If he says, okay, one check or two, like I usually don't say anything on the first date.
Okay.
Well,
One more.
what you wanna say? I'm sorry. Go ahead, Toylan. You was gonna say something?
Yeah, I want one more, and then I gotta respond. One more.
Okay, come on, Maisha.
Okay, so my thing on paying for the meal, I don't know, like, if the issue is the expense or the expectation that comes from it. Like, to me, paying for a meal is not a big deal. But if somebody pays for a meal, like, it's always great, even if it's family. It's like, cool, I got a nice meal out of it. I know I dated a guy once who we often would split the meals after we had been going out for a while. But he kind of played on that, because I'd go out, like, I'll get some chicken tenders, a glass of water, and some fries. He'd be like, I'm gonna have a steak, and it's 50. And I'm like, wait a minute. So, I mean, you just kind of got to be fair, like, decide what the issue is to you. Is it the expectation that's coming from it, or you just don't want to pay?
Okay. Now here's my response. Ladies.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Not every man falls in this category. But here's the mindset of a lot of men. If I'm paying for your meal, then I got certain expectations after I pay for your meal, right?
Yes.
And I'm not. Hey,
Yes,
wait,
such
hold
as.
on. Hold on.
Go ahead, Toylan.
Hold your horses. And I'm not talking about sexual expectations, though some men think it's sexual expectation. But the expectation that, hey, I paid for this meal, this date went somewhat okay. So there is a second, third, maybe fourth after this meal, because I might pay us for the second or third meal. So there is the expectation. So the expectation, you might not be feeling him the way he's feeling you. That barrier, if you take it down and like, well, no, let's split the meal. And if he volunteers and said, no, I want to take care of the meal, then that's another conversation. But initially, it should be split. It should be the conversation, we're going to split. And that way, no expectations be put on the woman, and there's no expectation coming from the man. I know that's a foreign language to a lot of y'all, but I'm telling you, it'll kill the moment. It won't kill the momentum. It'll actually enhance the momentum if a guy sees that a woman is more like, okay, now she's bringing something to the table and not trying to take away from the table. going back to the earlier conversation with Jay. Well, hey, I want to know what you're bringing to the table as well as what I'm bringing. Most people are takers and not givers.
Toyland, may I speak
Okay,
to
so
that?
we're gonna let a few people talk to this, and then we'll have to pick that up at 1 o'clock. Because I see all the women's hands are starting to pop up now, and we'll be here all day. So
Hey Jay, I knew that was gonna be a hot topic, so I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, there's nothing wrong with it. I love it. I love a good debate. But because Cammie hasn't said anything, I'm gonna let her talk because Sakanda and Tashawn have talked. So go ahead, Cammie.
When you meet somebody the first time, it doesn't have to be dinner. You can get creative. I had a guy come out and meet me and walk through Costco with me. I was on my way to Costco and I said, meet me out at Costco. The whole purpose of meeting somebody the first time is just to meet them. That's not even a date. You have to see if there's an in-person vibe. You have to see if they're a catfish. So you can do something like walk in the park. I mean, I'm in it for the long haul. So this like taking somebody on 5 dates and then expecting something in 3 days. So I will have a guy meet me out at Costco, at the grocery store, at the post office, something just to meet first, and then we'll take it from there.
Thank you, Cammie.
I
Exactly,
like that.
Cammie.
I like it.
Because I'm more interested in your creativity. If you don't want to spend no money, there's a lot of things you can do. You don't have to spend no money if you really just want to get to know me. If I'm there just to get a free meal, then I'm gonna have a problem with you being creative. But if you want to go to the museum or whatever you want to do, I'm supposed to be getting to know you. So show me something about you. Anybody can go to dinner. That's easy. That's a layup move. Go ahead and actually do something. I mean, I met people who, back in the day when everybody was getting laid off in 2007, 2008, like, well, I can't afford. Okay, then be creative. I find free stuff to do all of the time. So it's not hard and you ain't working. So you got plenty of time to plan.
There you go, Sean. Just go off. So hold on real quick.
That ain't that eight. That's not that eight coming out of you right there, is it? That's not that what it is.
That's a 5 right there.
Yeah, that's the 5.
Be creative.
Okay. So Sean
Tell me
and
what you're working
Lori, do you guys have something to say other than what Toyland has been talking about?
Okay, so here's what I wanted you to talk about is actually Christian dating in your 50s and 60s, because I am 60 this year and I haven't. Well, thank you. It's not my birthday today, but I am living and loving life. Believe me, I'm a 10-year cancer survivor, so life is good. I love the Lord.
Awesome.
Love the Lord dearly. So this year I finally said, I'm going to do something. I'm going to go on at least one date. And I've been out on this dating app and it's going okay. But JT, you actually answered my first question is the person has been messaging me, but I'm kind of getting the pen pal vibe because I'm thinking, how many ways can I answer how my weekend was and that I had a nice barbecue, and that I had a good day today. Let's move this along. It's been 2 weeks. You know what I mean? I'm just wondering if I should just completely blank this person out or just ignore their messages or just block them. So, but my real question to you is, can you speak to Christian dating for someone in their 50s and their 60s, especially women?
Okay. I mean, I don't think it's too much different. I think that you just have to find people. I do think that the closer you get to 60, 60 going into 70 and 80, it can be a little bit more difficult. And all the women that I've talked to and women that have come into this group kind of echo that sentiment, just simply because as men get older, just be real, a lot of them don't make it too much longer. And for women that date up, and they can date 5 years and 10 years older than them. So like a 60-year-old dating a 70-year-old, a 60-year-old dating a 65-year-old, guys, a lot of times, they're not here on this earth no more. So it can be a little bit tricky, but I do encourage, which I was going to get to a little bit later on. That's why I'm trying to get beyond this slide, because there's other places where you can meet guys, and you don't want to lean on the dating apps, especially with older guys. Older guys really don't like dating apps. They don't like them. That's not their energy. They're not, new school, if you want to say it that way. They're not millennials. Like my dad, he does not like apps at all. It took forever just to get him on Facebook. So the reason why I bring that up is because I do believe that there's a lot of other places where you can meet a lot of really great guys. If you're here in Atlanta, Sean Williams up there again at the top, who will speak next. We're going to be doing a jazz event in October at the High Museum. And that will be a really good place, I think, to meet a lot of mature, older guys, that would love to come out. I've actually been to 1 or 2 jazz events in Atlanta, and I was the youngest person there. I mean, most people there were a little older, a lot of distinguished guys walking around in suits, and they were listening to jazz, drinking some wine, and picking up women. So there's a lot of places, if you're here in Atlanta or if you're not in Atlanta, go to those types of events. Even when Seconda has set up something, the Atlanta Jazz Festival, they had people of all ages at that festival. And there was a guy right in front of us that looked like he might have been 60, and he was just sitting there by himself the whole time, listening to the music. And see, if you had been hanging out with us, you could have went down there and been like, do you know who this person is? I've never heard of this jazz artist. And that would have been your hookup right there, girl.
All
You
right.
would have had them, bam, and then you wouldn't have to worry about it. You wouldn't be single.
All right. Well, I need some options. I'm in the Detroit area, not in Atlanta. So, but the whole grocery store, Home Depot thing, that's not working for me.
Yeah, but again, there should be events that are happening in Detroit. Generally, like I said, just think about the types of concerts, events, other things like that, older guys probably would go to. Heck, I mean, even church. I'm not against people picking up folks at church, and look for it. And especially with church, a lot of the guys I've seen at church, man, you just got to make a move on them, And I know, like my father-in-law, and I'm just gonna say this and then move on real quick because this might sound bad to some people, but I ain't hating on this woman. As soon as his wife died, I mean, within a week, there was like 3 or 4 women that was basically, do you need somebody to cook? I know your wife is gone. I'm so sorry. I loved her dearly. But are you eating?
Vultures.
Yeah.
Lord. Vultures.
They chomping at the bit.
Well, you can say whatever you want to say, but one of them is married to him.
Of
and
course.
It only took about 6 months. Okay, you
they're
gotta move
vultures.
quick. Those older guys go quick.
This is
They're
true.
vulnerable.
Yeah.
When my husband passed, I worked at a job that it was about 98% male, and there was a lot of them that wanted to do stuff for me. I was 27. They was like, you need this. I come do that. Blah blah blah. They, people, they were sitting there waiting. They see vulnerable person, they swoop in.
Hey, you're gonna be good to them. That's all that matters. Are you gonna be good to them?
This is true.
You're gonna be good to them. I ain't got no hate. No hate for you. No
Say
hate
that,
for you.
Seconda.
I'm going to say something from a different view. I don't think it's just vulnerability. It's as you get older, you limit things out the picture of we don't need to address this issue. We don't need to address that issue because you start to value mortality more than ever. You realize time is short. So your mindset, because age and maturity don't go together, you start to, some people don't get it. Like if you're putting all your energy into the dating app, well, let's say there's 1,000 ways to catch a man. And one of them is the dating app. And if you're always putting your energy into the dating app, then you miss the 999 other ways of catching the wife or the husband or whoever you want them to be in your life or they need to be in your life. So you're limiting yourself. Like Jay said, Rose Maria came out. That's saying I'm willing to take a chance. That's saying I'm stepping out the box. I'm gonna take a flight, come to Atlanta, because God can have anybody in Timbuktu, in the Philippines, in Alaska, in Atlanta, wherever he wants to place them. The question is, are you willing to do what you need to do? Or do you want them to come to you? And it doesn't always work that way. So you have to, God directs you where you need to go and to that meeting place. And then I did want to comment on Toyland also. Is me, I prefer for it to be Dutch because one, we're taking this expectations out right away. You know, there's no obligation, and the barriers are broken on that area, and you get to find out if a person is really interested in you or not. And then if it doesn't work, he doesn't feel like, man, I'm just tired of wasting my money and I'm just spending and people are getting free meals. And even for a female, like, you know, I don't want to feel like I'm obligated to do anything. So those first establishments, when I met a husband of mine, a previous husband, one of the things we did a picnic in the park. So there's creativity, and we can say the dating apps are this way and the dating apps are that way, or people are this way or people are that way. But how many of y'all stop to start dating yourself? Because if you can't date yourself, then nobody needs to date you. So like me, I'm sitting here, I'm in Florida. I don't live in Florida. I mean, I travel because of work, but I take advantage of everywhere I go. I'm here outside at Starbucks, enjoying myself, listening to you guys. But the question is, you got to start dealing with yourself, because if you can't date yourself and you don't know yourself and you're waiting for somebody else to come and validate you, then you're going to be waiting for a long time, or you're going to get ran through a whole lot because you need to deal with you. So the whole thing, and then with Natalie, when people are saying, hey, you know, why are you single? Because I've gotten that question. I get the question, why are you single? Or what's wrong with you? The whole thing is that beauty is outer. You know, charm is temporary, character is forever. So the whole thing is that you're not just looking for somebody on the outer. You want somebody who has strong, good character that's going to outlast their outer appearance. Because when everything fades away, I'm older than what I look, and if it starts showing up, I need to have my character that stands out. That's why you see men with women that you like, how did she get him? Or vice versa, because those are the ones that's going after that character, and they were bold enough to speak and talk and hold a conversation. So make a goals list, and your goals list could be something like, today I'm going to smile at 5 people, or today I'm going to sit up here and talk up and speak to introduce myself or meet somebody, or I'm going to go do something and have a dinner by myself. Guarantee you, a lot of times when you sit down by yourself and go to the movies by yourself or have dinner by yourself, that's an automatic. Somebody will come over and talk to you. What are you doing here all by yourself? I just noticed that you've been here by yourself. So think outside the box, because this is what I'm picking up. Not enough folks is thinking outside the box, and stop putting the dependency on others to get it right. Instead, let's get it right ourselves.
Okay. Well, come on, Sean. You've been waiting patiently.
Yeah, I wanted to speak to what Toyland said. And actually, you know what? This is for all the men. Just pay for the first date. The reason why you want to pay for the first date is because it's just a gesture of friendship. Me and Jay have hung out, and I've paid for Jay's meal. I'm not trying to sleep with Jay. I'm not trying to date Jay. Me and Jay, we're friends. It is a gesture of friendship.
It is.
It is not about what you're going to get from the other person. But if you really like somebody, just make it easy for them to date you and pay for the first date. That's all I got to say about that. You know, and then back to Natalie, the reason why you're single, that's none of nobody's business. One of the things that I've learned from being down in Atlanta, in New York, if you could have a halfway decent looking woman, soon as she leaves her building, she's got 5 guys hitting on her. But in Atlanta, it's different. In Atlanta, because of the ratio of who's got that in the background. In Atlanta, because of the ratio of men to women, it's different. You have a lot of single women out here. I've been on the dating apps. For me, it's gotten overwhelming only because there are so many single women in Atlanta that are available. And it's the reason why they're still single. It's because they're single. It's none of my business why they're single. It doesn't mean that they're a bad person or something is wrong with them. I am meeting some very nice women that are marriage material that are single here in Atlanta, and they're older. Y'all know I'm 50, so I'm in the older crowd. So I'm meeting older women. I'm not going for the younger crowd. And I'm meeting a lot of older women who there's, I would say there's nothing wrong with them. They're just single for whatever reason that they're single. Maybe they've had something going on in the past, but I don't really care. But I really wanted to comment about what Toylan said. For the first date, pay the first date. If you had a good time, maybe the second date, but after that, wait for a person to reciprocate. Because if they're not going to reciprocate, then they're just a taker. And you don't want that. You don't want to be spending your money on the taker. And then if you didn't have a good time the first time around, it's up to you whether you want to do it again or not. Me personally, I don't have a problem paying the first date. That's how I'm going to get you to go out with me to begin with. And I'll let you know up front I'm paying. I will say it will be my treat so that you already know that you don't have to pay. And it, I want to say it works, but I've been meeting some crazies. So I've got stories about that as well. But that's for another meetup. But that's all I got.
I'm glad everybody's been excited about this. We are gonna move on. But I will agree with Sean. I believe in paying for dates. I'm not against what you're saying, Toylan. But I just think it makes it a little bit easier. But I ain't gonna lie, when I'm looking for restaurants, because they put a little dollar sign. $1 sign is like $10, $2 sign is like $20, $3 signs, $30, $4 signs is $40, and that's saying per meal. And if I'm taking a woman out on a date, it don't go beyond $2 signs. So I'm trying to go one step above Applebee's.
That's not what that means, Jay.
Really?
I ain't trying to be at McDonald's, but I'm trying to be one step above.
Well, Jay, let me give this 8 response. Since Toylan called me, I'm gonna give you the 8 response. I'm good company. So
there you go. You paying for my time.
Right. So you're gonna have a good time. You may not want to date me afterwards, but you're gonna want to go out with me again because I have fun. Okay.
There you go.
I don't care what you, unless you just are the worst company ever, you're gonna have a good time with me because I'm out, I'm gonna make sure that I have fun no matter what.
Regardless of if it's a romantic connection or not. It's just fun.
There you go. So we're gonna make that CSC. We gotta have a CSC. Gangster
Yeah,
sign.
you keep working on that.
Yeah, I can do a C, and we gotta do the S and then another C. So it could sort of be kind of like this.
Mm-hmm. We got it.
CSC gangster sign. When we go out. Mm-hmm. But anyway,
we got a lot more slides.
Another way that you can find people is through social media. This is free. You will have to work a little bit harder to make it work for you because unlike a dating site, which everybody's out there to date, on social media, they're not. They're out there to show pictures of their kids or to keep up with the trends or whatever it is that they're trying to get off of it. It's better for you if you are a social media person. Like me, I'm not really a social media person. I actually pretty much hate social media. It's one of my problems. But I see a lot of people, especially a lot of millennials, they do very well on social media, finding each other on social media, talking on social media. A lot of the women that I've dated, again, because, for those that don't know me, even though I am a little older, I don't have any children. So a lot of times I date younger. And a lot of the women are very quick to throw me to their Instagram. And they want me to communicate through Instagram. They want to FaceTime through Instagram. They want to see what my Instagram looks like. And so they're really, really into it. Now, the older people will probably be Facebook. But again, you can find more people out there. You can go hustle through people at your church or other groups that you're involved in. Facebook has groups, so you could be a part of that. And every time you know how it is on Facebook, you make a friend or you put somebody as a friend, and then Facebook tries to find you 50 more people that match to them. And so what you start to see is, especially on places like Facebook, is that as you start to make new friends, quote unquote, Facebook friends, they're going to be pretty much in your range generally. because they're based off of other friends. And so through that, you find somebody attractive, you can talk to them, you can DM them, what they call DM them, direct message them through, or for a lot of the women, you can allow men to DM you. A lot of women have their DM turned off. I'm always encouraging women to turn it on. You can even do that on Meetup. Meetup, I believe you should have your DM on. And I know a lot of women will say, oh, I'm sick of all these guys DMing me. I'm sick of this. It gets on my nerves. They're losers, blah, blah, blah. Well, see, what happens is in real life, the same thing happens to you when you're at Kroger or you at your grocery store. A guy will come up to you. You don't like him. Hey, you look nice. I like your dress, blah, 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 blah. Oh, sexy, blah, blah, whatever. You dismiss him and you move on. But for some reason, when it comes to people's social media, they don't want anybody DMing them. And all you got to do is ignore them, or you can block them. Okay, but to turn them off is to drop an opportunity, and it's kind of like what Secunda was saying, which we said at the very beginning. It's about being open. Okay, you got to be open. The more closed off you are, the more difficult it's going to be. Okay, so if you're open, it just makes it where people can get to you, because that's what men are trying to do. They're trying to get to the woman, or the woman's trying to get to the man, because I don't think a woman can't DM a guy or whatever it is. Another trick that people do for, some of the older people is that they might come on your site and then they like a lot of your pictures, like 5 or 6 or whatever. And then that's usually trying to tell you, hey, I'm interested. And then at that point, you might go to their page and like 1 or 2 pictures, and then they might DM you after that, because it's a way for people to try to figure out if they like each other. Okay. So exercise and events, just like what we were talking about with the Atlanta Jazz Festival, we were outside. We were out at Piedmont Park, and few people will wear their masks once they sat down, because at that point, they're in their little group, they sit down, they take off their mask. So now you can actually see what their face looks like. Okay, because I know that's one of the problems with dating right now during COVID, is that everybody, all you see is their eyes, and everybody's wondering, I wonder what that nose and mouth looks like. Awesome, or it might be jacked up. So, we all worried about that. We got to be real. But when you're outside, most people, will take the mask off, or they might take it down, or if they're in certain areas where they feel more comfortable, and then that allows you to see their face. Now in the gym, it can be tricky, but you might see the person leave out of the gym, or just coming into the gym, or go right before they're going into the sauna or something like that. But exercise, running, walking, being outside at the park, one of the key elements, and actually Secunda said this as well, is be out. Be out. So, for all the Enneagram people, this is where I'm gonna drop an Enneagram note. 9 energy people. Davita's third number is a 9. 9 energy people know that they're very happy in the house. Okay, they can make peace to themselves. They're very happy in the house. They have to fight against this, because they will just sit inside the house and everything is perfect. Netflix is cool, and they will just, I'm sorry?
She's laughing at me.
Oh, okay. So that's
Sure.
one of those things. That's why we talk about Enneagram, like I said, for all the new people. It's because I can talk directly to somebody's issue. We can talk directly to different issues, and 9 energy people have the issue of loving to be inside their house. They tend to be more introverted. They can make their own fun, but I encourage you, grab a book, hit a coffee shop, and sit out, or watch your favorite show on your phone, but get out of the house. Nobody's gonna find you in the house. Okay? So the next one, which kind of leads into that, open air restaurants or bars. In Atlanta, there's a decent amount of them. I know that there's ones all over. in September and October, we're going to be cooler. So you're going to get more people to come out because sometimes it can be too hot. You know, like I say, I can't say for everybody else, but I know in Atlanta last month in August, man, it was so humid, even in the shade. You know, and you know, right before the sun would go down at 7 o'clock, it was still too dang hot. You know, nobody really wanted to be out there. But it's going to get cooler, and right now is a great chance, great time to get out of your house, to put on a cute outfit. And like Seconda said, you know, especially for a lot of ladies, you can go out and sit by yourself. And I know a lot of women don't like doing that for, you know, danger and stuff like that. So if you do go out, ladies, and you want to have somebody with you, I do encourage you to take one friend.
Yeah.
One friend. When you go out and you got like 5 friends, a lot of men are intimidated by that many women. Okay, that's just too many women for a lot of guys, and you might miss out on a lot of opportunities if you're hanging out with, you know, 4 and 5 women at a table. Now, some guys are just brave and bold like that, but most guys, and we talk about this a lot of times in our group, that, you know, most men are not like what you see in Hollywood. And to give you a great example of that, since I was talking about this earlier with somebody else, who I'm sure that most people on this call, maybe not everybody, most people on this call might have seen the movie Black Panther. Okay, and if you haven't seen Black Panther, maybe you saw Captain America or even Spider-Man. And what you see in these 3 characters is you see a man that is basically saving the world, muscular, doing everything he's supposed to do, but all 3 of these characters are actually shy when it comes to women. All 3 of them. Okay, Captain America was startled when Black Widow kissed him in one of the scenes, and she kind of laughed at him. Spider-Man was always scared to talk to Mary Jane for a long period of time. That was his crush. And at the very beginning of Black Panther's sister tells him, do not freeze up when you see your crush.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and then once he saw her, he froze up. Men are not these super duper got swag for days dudes. Some of them are. Sean Williams is like that. He's real cool. I'm trying to be like him. I am joking on him, but I am trying to be like him. But, you know, I know for me, I can struggle with shyness sometimes, and I am been working on that, trying to get better. So the thing I try to tell people is do not think that every guy is just this super duper, got it all together. Men are human. Okay, we are human. So for a lot of ladies, that's just a little bit of advice that will help you as you go through. Anywho, so don't go out with a whole lot of women. Make it easy for the guys, try to make eye contact, try to help them get to you. Also, a lot of the open air restaurants and bars might have connections like little sidewalks that might lead to pathways and shops. There's several here in Atlanta. That is just a big open area type of little mini mall type of thing. And it'll be, some of them are right off the Beltline in Atlanta, and you can just sit there and walk back and forth. It is really, really good to walk. Walking is good. Get outside, walk around, meet people, allow yourself to stay in the area and just meet people, make eye contact. Women a lot of times don't make eye contact because they don't want to be bothered. But you got to, if you want to find somebody, you got to make eye contact. You know, you got to a little bit if that's what you're looking for. So, I mean, I ain't saying make eye contact with the ugly dude. You know, you can, you know, walk away from him, put your shades on. But, you know, if you see some cute guys, you know, take your time. And so you can meet you some folks. Okay, here's another quick way. Join groups and volunteer. Okay, now for all my 2 energy women and men, this is probably really, really easy because 2s are natural volunteers. But for all the others, this is not necessarily coming easy. They don't always want to volunteer and help people. But if you're volunteering and you're joining these groups, because even this group is CSC, Christian Singles Connect, you can join this group. I know a lot of people are new to this group today, but the bottom line is, just like you've heard and seen, we know each other, we talk to each other, we have events, we go out. So getting to know people, and it's not about, ladies, I'm gonna be real with you, and I've said this a lot for the people in the group. I know that there are more women in this group than men. And while I am not against the women talking to the men in this group, that is not primarily why CSC exists. When we go out, okay, we're trying to go to places where they're going to be men. And you can use us as your wingman or wing woman or wing group. Because trust me, when we go out, and Secunda can even talk to this, we go out as a group and it's 5 and 6 and 7 of us, and we have laughing and having a good time. And then there will be a person maybe by themselves or 2 people that will look over and be like, what the heck is going on with y'all? And before you know it, they join our group because we having a good time. And so that gives you opportunity to meet other people. And it's happened so much with Sean. You know, me and Sean have done it. Me and him are hanging out. And before you know it, other guys are like, what are y'all doing? What are y'all? And then before you know it, we walking up and we running into Secunda. And she's like, where do y'all bring these 2 guys from? Where these guys come from? You know, so the thing about it is, ladies, don't be looking for this group to be your, oh, I got to find my man in CSC. No, what you're doing, what we've set this group up for is for you to win. And one of your ways to win is to get out of your house.
Yes.
Hang out with us, get out of your house, and we will provide you at least some kind of attention or some kind of person you can talk to so you can feel comfortable at the event for 2 hours. And then you can be looking around and seeing if a man is popping up or a woman for some of the guys so you can get your person. This group is committed to get your person. We are not like your Christian church group where we want you to find somebody in the group all the time. Now, I don't care if you do. You know, shoot your shot. Y'all can shoot your shot in the private messages on the chat. I don't care. Let me come to your wedding. And besides that, I do photography. For $1,000, I can photograph your wedding, and it'll be absolutely perfect.
Are you coming to Maryland?
But on the real tip, you need to join a group. You need to volunteer. You need to get out of your house. Okay, so you need to protect yourself. I understand that. I'm not going to get into the whole vaccination thing. You know, people argue, fight over that. You know, we're not vaxxers, anti-vaxxers, whatever vaxxers. That's on you and on God. You knock yourself out. Okay. But I will say, do protect yourself as best you can. Open air is always the best because the breeze will take the any germs in the air away. You know, you can do your 6-foot distance, and you have digital connections that you can do, which means you can meet online. You can do a lot of online dates. I've actually had several dates where I actually FaceTime with the lady and we did something like cook together. So I would say, you know, meet me at 6 o'clock on the phone. We would talk, we would cook. You know, she would be in her kitchen, I'm in my kitchen. We would cook, and then we would eat together. So it was kind of like an hour, hour and a half of, you know, just us talking, having a good time. So you can use these digital connections, and that'll actually be cheap and creative. So Tashawn will be happy because it'll be creative. So that's one of the things that you can do to make sure that you are whatever. Uh-oh. So my little title got messed up. But so this is, you know, again, UPS, Amazon ain't gonna deliver your man. I say this all the time. You got to get out of the house. And I understand for, like I say, some people, that's not their thing, but you need to remember, and that's why we do the Enneagram. So if you guys haven't taken it, it is in the chat. I'll put it in the chat again, so it's nice and fresh. You know, somebody sent me a direct message, but I'll be honest with you, I haven't been able to see it because I'm working. but I'm gonna put this back in here just in case. Enneagramtest.net. So anybody that did not take it, now you can take it. And the reason why, again, we do that is because you want to know your number so you can kind of figure out the type of person that you are. And so when we talking to your problems, we can talk to your problems. So again, like 9 energy people, they love to be in the house. They like to kick it. That 9 energy is very, a lot of people really enjoy that energy because it is relaxed. It's really great for a lot of women when they're raising children to be patient, because 9 energy allows them to be very patient, but it really sucks for women when it comes to dating because it does not get them out of the house. So for a lot of women, especially, you have to be intentional and look around. Women don't always do this. They tend to be very focused when they're in stores. And then when they basically are going to go out in the town and put their makeup on and nails and hair and all that kind of stuff, then they're intentional. But you really should be intentional at all times, looking around. There might be a really great guy and he's not being intentional that day. To Sean's words, always try to position yourself. You see somebody that you like, try to make it easy for that person to talk to you. Join activities and clubs, like I said before. Allow yourself to club activity hop. So like I am involved with about, 20 groups on Meetup. I encourage you to do that, even though, I know y'all love CSC the best. We're the most awesomest group, but it's okay that you cheat and go out to other groups sometimes. Hey, it is what it is. Go to the gym, hike, vacation. We're about to set up a hike very soon. Cami is actually putting that hike together. And so we're going to be hiking, but to get out around other people, again, you might see other people while we're out and around. Stay around after church. Don't be so quick to leave. So many people are just, they're in and out, especially with COVID. In and out, in and out, in and out. I'm ready to go. If you even do dare to go in the building, you're in and out. No, stay around, because you might see somebody lingering that you are interested in. Be involved. Shoot your shot. Don't be afraid to tell somebody you like them. Okay, you're not 12 anymore. Okay, I run into a lot of people. They don't want to. I'm embarrassed. Blah blah blah. You're not 12. Okay, you should be able to tell somebody, hey, I like you. I think you're attractive, and move on with your life. Get out, go to restaurants, bars, allow people to message you. Like I said, Meetup, IG, Facebook, don't shut that off, especially for the ladies. If you want to do the dating apps, do that. But most importantly, get out of the house, So we did a lot of chatting throughout, which is interesting because we rarely chat that much, throughout the meeting.